Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Dave Candido.
And we're finally coming back to the old Rambo series we started, and this time we are at Rambo 4, just titled Rambo, or if you get like the extended cut, John Rambo, the way that Stallone intended, you know, to be kind of just like Rocky Balboa, that one there, the 6th movie. But this is the 2008 Rambo movie that is the movie that I always kind of think of when pretty much like violence in cinema just kind of came to this great pinnacle point where like every movie you saw post Rambo for like the next couple of years, it was like you were guaranteed good violence. It was just like it was like violence and gore was just okay from this point on. It wasn't like one of those ones for so many years. It was always like they would cut stuff out, they would censor things, and then you would learn later on, like in DVD special features, they're like, well, we had to trim this movie down so it didn't become an NC-17. And lo and behold, you're like, well, where the hell is this NC-17 version you're talking about? I want to see this now. We have DVD special features. Come on, like, you know. But Rambo was like the one where it's just like really, I have a hard time thinking of a movie that's like came out theatrically that was that violent. Like,
so I was thinking about this. I hadn't seen Rambo, Rambo 4, John Rambo, whatever you want to call it. I hadn't seen that until, I don't know, like maybe 10 years ago. I didn't see it when it came out. I wanted to, but I just didn't. And
it was amazing in cinemas, I'll tell you that. Like,
I can imagine just being on the edge of your seat, and also being really irritated. But we'll get into that later for different reasons. Irritated, and part of that's after, as I am a veteran, being overseas. I only went overseas once, but coming back home and just seeing how people react. And again, I think I touched on that a little bit through some of the other movies as well. But anyway, get back to that. But yeah, I can only imagine how crazy that would have been in theaters. But anyway, yeah, I hadn't seen this in 2008, but I can definitely agree with what you're saying about this era being like just super violent with some of these movies. And I kept thinking, this came out in 2008, and I thought, well, I wonder when. And sure enough, it wasn't very far away from it. The movie, I don't know if you ever saw it, was called 30 Days of Night.
Yes, that was like, I think that was a year before. Yeah, I was gonna say,
and that was another super violent movie, vampire movie, horror movie.
Yeah, with Josh Hart in it.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that movie, and I couldn't because it was it was rated R, and I was 17 when I came out, so I had to have somebody that was 18. And
I thought you could go to the movie theater and see rated R movies when you were 17. I thought that was.
I wasn't allowed to. They didn't let me in Angels Camp.
Interesting, because maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it was 18. For some reason, I thought 17 was like the cutoff age. Well, I remember back in the day, it's like trying to get.
Sure there's a lot of people that just like didn't care. They're like,
yeah,
okay, here's your ticket, go on. But yeah,
I remember being like 15 years old, and what you would do is you would ask some random like adult walking by and be like, "Hey, can you sign my ticket? Yeah, do you mind sign our tickets? And like the guy, yeah, smoking a cigarette. Yeah, that's our uncle.
Oh man, no joke. When I was working at Big Trees Market way back when in Arnold, small town talk here, I was. At this point, whatever I was doing for the day, I was bagging groceries, and whatever department we worked in, half the time we'd get called up to come help. So I'm bagging groceries, and this guy, he was one of the town kind of bums, and somehow he found himself into a little bit of money. It's probably $20, but he bought some of the cheapest, like lowest shelf, booze he could get. Probably like pop vodka, the stuff that's in plastic bottles, and he pays for it, gets a pack of smokes, or he's got the alcohol, the pack of smokes, and he probably got like a chimichanga and an egg roll from the deli or something, and he goes to leave, and as soon as he goes to walk out the door, he turns around and looks at me and says, "This is what life's all about, getting older and just getting fucked up," and then leaves. And I was so I imagine like this is the kind of guy.
You're like, I'm gonna fuck this chimichanga later tonight.
And it's like, I don't know, like 2:00, and I imagine like like going up to these guys like, hey, can you come like pretend to be my dad?
Sign me in real quick,
Rambo. But yeah, no, the 30 Days a Night, I think what happened was I was initially denied, and then we went back like with an older brother or whatever, I think it was my girlfriend at the time, and watched it, and I'm just thinking like, this is insane. And going forward, yeah, like movies from then on out, like for I'd say a good couple, 2 or 3 years of movies with intense violence, like gosh, even though it's not exactly a movie that's purely about violence, Inglourious Bastards, I think, was a year after Rambo.
Yeah, well, Grindhouse was another starter too for that. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it was one heck of an era for that, and Rambo did not come in short.
No, I felt like Rambo's the one that it brought the flag, it brought it to the top. I mean, and then I remember even like Tropic Thunder came out. That was like how I remember trying to tell that to somebody. I was like,
even
dude,
if they're not like inherently violent movies, they're still going to be violent.
Well, that's how
going to be violent.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it's like Tropic Thunder. It's like a comedy, like Apocalypse Now kind of comedy, but with the violence of Rambo. Like that was the thing about that movie.
I was so surprised when I went and saw Tropic Thunder in theater, and I was pretty shocked as soon as the director's head got blown off or body, whatever, because I wasn't expecting it, because I'm thinking just it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets shot, like maybe he gets hung or something, but no, just like extremely violent death after death. And I mean, it's the kind of thing that, am I a psychopath because of how hard I'm laughing at this? But whatever.
That's what I laugh at, so I don't care,
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, and that's the thing too. Like, even in this movie, even in Rambo earlier, I mean, there was a couple shots where I mean, I was like in a serious trance, watching the film, like, and then all of a sudden this ridiculous, headshot or whatever. I'm like, because it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so extreme that's what makes it funny in a sense, But yeah, just this time period was, you got this, like Punisher Warzone goes really hard on like the violence. The Expendables as well that follow up after this. Like the first two have a lot of good violence. Yeah. It's like there's like this about give or take like 5 or 6 year period, and of course by about the mid 2010s, everything starts going back to like PG-13, and your radar movies are kind of few and far between. But this was just a great time period where just like it felt like rated R was the way. Violence was just, you're guaranteed it, because that was always like the big problem that I had of so many movies, like just even growing up, like even in like 80s and 90s and so on like that, where a lot of movies, they would just kind of cut away, or it would be kind of toned down. Now, granted, there is some, really good violence in, older movies too, but like a lot of them, that was always kind of the problem. It's just like, oh man, it cuts away. Oh man, like, like they show it from another side. Sometimes they try to pull that like artistic card, like it's actually more, effective if you cut away. Like, don't you bull fucking shit. You only did that because one, you either wanted to save some money, or they were going to turn your movie into an NC-17 film,
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And it felt like the fact that Rambo is just, that's rated R. Like, that's not even, they didn't even consider it being NC-17. That was just R-rated, whatever, like, and that's what just made that time period so good. It just felt like the floodgates are open, and we can kind of just get whatever we want, and nobody's going to curb our, like, artistic freedom. And then, lo and behold, they found a way to curb our artistic freedom about a decade later, but that's okay. Whatever. I guess it all comes in waves, but...
yeah, I think it'll come back.
I think so. I actually think the last like year or so has been a really good time period for action movies.
We were talking about it, but I didn't see it. Sisu.
Yes.
How was that with its intensity?
The violence is pretty darn good in that one. I want to say I saw it once in theaters, and I saw it once when I bought it on Blu-ray. Oh no, I didn't see it in theaters because that movie didn't come it didn't have like a wide release. I remember I just bought it straight on Blu-ray, so maybe I've only watched it once then. But no, it was pretty violent, pretty brutal. I don't think it wasn't Rambo brutal though. I will say that, like, I
gotta say, as many violent films, as many like just gore violent films that came out in these few years that the fourth Rambo was made or released, I don't think I've seen one that. I mean, I've seen some super violent films, but some of the scenes within the violence are like they're pretty hard to watch. Like gosh, that Burmese army that's just slaughtering innocents. Like, you don't see that many movies that actually show, you know, a guy ripping a child from a mother's arms and throwing him into a burning hut. You know, like, and like young girls getting shot and stuff. Like, that's some pretty brutal stuff. Like, wow.
Yeah, they're literally killing kids and all kinds of stuff. And the whole point was that, like, this was a real thing going on.
Yes.
And Stallone wanted to bring attention to this, you know, to Burma and all this, you know, incidents going on, and the Charons or whatever, the other people that just get massacred day by day. And it was just one of those things where I think the media was just kind of like, you know, whatever. It's it's a D story in a sense. You know, it's too sad, you know. And Stallone's like, well, you know, if anybody's gonna go save the day, it's Rambo's gonna go do it.
That's probably like, you know, like, oh, the people are getting massacred in Burma, whatever. This guy in, you know, Nebraska got called a fag, so let's go cover that. You know, like,
yeah, that's a real travesty right there. Is he gay? No, he's just a douchebag. Oh, so he is a fag.
You know, some meth head suing suing the county she lives in because she was arrested for after calling the police on the woman that stole her meth. You know, like, so I actually saw a video about that the other day. Anyway,
yeah,
it's kind of hilarious. But yeah, no, I was reading a little bit on that too, about just this whole thing that was happening. And interestingly enough, I was when I was in Jordan, one of the guys that it's unfortunately no longer with us. He was a good buddy of ours. He was Filipino, and he said that he'd been to Burma, and he said that it was really freaking crazy. He was not there during this, but he said that it was just a pretty intimidating place to be, and pretty wild. So I think Rambo really did a good job portraying the kind of violence and kind of crap that happens not only in a place like that, but in a lot of places in the world that people just, they don't have any idea. And unfortunately, even when you tell them, sometimes they don't even care. No. But yeah, so yeah, Rambo 4, man. We get back with old John Rambo, and looks like he's seen better days, but apparently there's some amazing gym out in Thailand still. So
yeah, he's lifting snakes every day, and, you know, manning a boat. You know, that's how he's building his strength. He's probably still stick fighting. Let's be honest. You know, just like Rambo 3.
I think they did a bit better job. Now, there was quite a bit of time that passed between 3 and 4, of course, but still, I think there's definitely somebody wrote the story better in this film than the last, I would say. Even though I don't think Rambo 3 is a terrible movie, I think it's just the formula of the film. You know, like it moves very naturally. There's not really any parts where you're kind of like, what's going on?
yeah. No. It does flow, and we decided to watch the extended cut one because both of us never saw that version before. And it's kind of weird after all these years. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I've just watched the regular one over and over.
So I only watched the regular one, but it's been a long time. I didn't catch that link you sent me yet. I was gonna watch it afterward, but then I lost a little time. But I didn't notice that much stuff that was different. I really thought maybe all that stuff was pretty dang violent already. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was well,
it's like one of those ones because it had been a moment since I'd seen Rambo as well too. So of course, you know, you watch it and it's kind of like, unless you sometimes watch like 2 different versions back to back where you know a movie extremely well, it's like something that's kind of hard to tell. It was like the one thing I could notice is that there was a little bit longer scenes between Rambo and Sarah, who's kind of the main female character in there. There was a little bit more extended ones there, but a lot of the stuff I didn't notice until I kind of looked up to see what was exactly different. And what there kind of was that Stallone kind of went in and sort of reshuffled some of the scenes around, so some things kind of happened in a different order. in a sense. You know, the once again, yeah, unless you're watching back to back, you might not know.
Yeah.
And then I think it was one of those ones like, you know, they said, like, I kept seeing a couple things where people said, oh, they cut some of the gore out. I think what kind of happened is that, like, some of the scenes, it's just like they were just edited slightly different. And some of the CG blood, I think there was a couple, like, a little bit extreme ones. They were just toned down a bit. So not enough to really, like, I mean, because the movie's still extremely violent. It's still NC-17 violent in the extended one.
Crap, yeah,
you know? It's that weird thing, like, you could pull out, like, 2, like, death scenes and people would, like, flip out. But, like, it reminds me, Stallone put out this Rocky IV director's cut a couple years ago. And it sounded interesting on paper. He's going to go back, re-edit it, and so on like that. Rocky IV is my favorite of the Rocky ones and everything. And it was one of those weird ones where, like, the movie runs at the exact same amount of time is the original Rocky, but of course he cuts the robot scenes out, which I like the robot scenes, but he cuts the robot scenes out. He adds a couple of these extra ones where it's like it's him and Adrian. They have a little bit longer conversation, which is cool and so on like that. But then he changes some of the music and the tone, and it feels more like a sports movie and less a little bit patriotic and so on. It's not a bad version, but it's not a classic like Rocky IV just by itself was. I feel like this Rambo 4 one, it's not as extreme as that, but it kind of reminds me of that same way where he went and sort of shuffled some things around, changed some music cues, you know, and did that kind of stuff. What really makes me want is like, and now I feel like I want a third version of both Rambo 4 and Rocky 4. But like, could you just give me the original movie, like as is, and then add in all those extended scenes?
The other stuff.
That's all I want. Yeah, like don't reshuffle things. Don't change music cues. You know, don't change the tone. Like,
for God's sakes, don't give it to George Lucas.
Yeah, he's gonna keep re-editing every single time some new piece of software comes out. But yeah, that's sort of what it is. So, but I think with this Rambo 4, the extended cut one, like I liked it pretty much just as much as the other one. Like it'd be interesting if you did sit down and watch both of them back to back just to kind of see exactly how much different stuff there was in there, and then kind of make your decision. But I don't think they're necessarily radically different from each other, you know.
So just like every other Rambo movie, he's got a mission, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't really have a mission in First Blood. His mission was
to get something to eat,
to survive. Yeah, exactly. He just wanted something to eat, and he never got it.
No, he never did.
Oh, geez. But now, so here he's just, once again, he's minding his own damn business. Everybody's always coming to Rambo with their problems.
Yeah.
And these American Christians want to go help these white American Christians want to go help these poor Burmese people. Their hearts are in the right place, but they're a bunch of fucking morons.
But yeah,
and, you know, Rambo just catches snakes. He operates a boat. You know, he doesn't do much, and probably just I want to say enjoying being retired, but I don't think there's much of a life that he enjoys. He's just living because he's nothing can go.
Something to do. Yeah,
but yeah, so they come to him, and the way that the guy, there's, you know, a lady, her husband, and a couple of their buddies, that are these Christian people that want to go help out the Burmese and people that are getting slaughtered.
The Karens, I think, is what they are.
Genocide. The what?
The Karens, I think, is what the people that are getting slaughtered are. It's like the way nowadays it sounds like a weird name, but that's literally like I think it's pronounced slightly different, but they're literally called Karens.
Oh. And
then Burma's just like the area where they're at, where like the Burma whatever, like militia is the one like assaulting them.
Huh. The Karens, the Karen people. It's in Burma, but
yeah, it's in Burma, but like so those are the people that are getting like they just want to live their classic lifestyle.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and of course then there's a military dictatorship pretty much like that gets bored on a Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just go slaughter a bunch of people. Just ridiculous. It's insane. But yeah, they want to go help out these Karens. And it shouldn't laugh. I feel like it's culturally insensitive, but whatever.
It really is.
People aren't going to watch this.
Yeah.
But no, the Christians want to go help them out. It's the husband, wife, and their buddies. And there's only a couple of them. And the husband is the first one that comes to Rambo, right? And the way that he's talking to him is like, I thought was kind of funny. It's almost like he thinks Rambo like is some like he doesn't speak English or something. I want you to take us up the river. We'll pay you. Like, it's just kind of like, dude, he's white.
Well, he's technically half Native American, half German, according to Rambo 2.
Yeah.
Which realistically, I will say, in this movie, he actually does look quite Native American in it.
He does look a lot less American.
Yeah.
He looks a lot more just not white.
Yeah, like, it's almost like he's trying to... he's trying to fit in.
In all those Planet Fitness tanning booths at this point.
He could be like Hulk Hogan, who can actually be darker than Dennis Rodman.
Jeez. All you see walking around at night is just the NWO walking around. Yeah.
You just see the little logo.
Exactly.
That's the thing. In like '94, Hulk Hogan's his tan is so dark that, like, realistically, he's actually blacker than Dennis Rodman. If we're going by skin color.
When I first watched WCW, it was when the first time I'd ever known that there was another wrestling outside of WWF. I was at my grandpa's, and my mom or grandpa, aunt, whoever, they came in the bedroom I was playing in. They turned on the TV, like, oh, you like wrestling? I'm like, yeah, I love WWF. They put it on, and I look in the corner of the screen. I'm like, that's not WWF. That's WCW. What the hell's WCW? And then, like, when you know and love something already, and you see like a competitor, you automatically think like, this isn't as good,
off-brand.
Yeah. And I see Hulk Hogan come out, and I knew who Hulk Hogan was, but I'm like, hey, that's Hulk Hogan. And he was like super tan, had a 5 o'clock shadow, but still had his iconic handlebars that were totally bleach blonde, but everything else was brown.
Yeah, I love that look. Yeah.
And it looked like he just bleached it. And oh, dude. And he's got the NWO on. I think it might have been like right in the inception of NWO. Because him, Kevin Nash, I think, what's his name, who's also dead, the guy that you met.
Razor Ramon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall, yeah. That dude always made me crack up. Just the way that he'd always, portray himself.
Yeah, exactly. I love that guy.
I wish I would have met that guy, because I think I was at the Comic-Con that he was at right before he died. But anyway, the Rambo, yeah. So the guy, the husband Christian man is talking to him, and Rambo just largely is like, no.
Hey,
I'm not gonna
capture snakes. Yeah,
not gonna help you. And then the guy's wife comes up, and I'm telling you, this lady annoyed me so much. Honestly, all of them annoyed the crap out of me.
Yeah,
because they keep like guilt tripping Rambo, and they keep like trying to be, like altruistic, pedestal, like they're on a pedestal talking about like, you can't just do nothing, and get off your high horse is what I kept wanting to say. But and
really, Rambo can't be the only boatman there.
Exactly, right? Like, you mean to tell me the only guy operating a boat in this river from Thailand to Burma is a white guy?
Yeah.
That's
they're like, whoa, we just want an American we can trust.
Yeah. You want to help these poor people, but not at the expense of being in a boat with an Asian.
I mean, we're from Colorado. We've been enlightened.
It'd have been even funnier if they were from Utah.
The Mormons.
Oh man. But yeah, they. So she convinces Rambo. She, because he tells her no too, and then she comes back at night.
Yeah, she keeps showing up. She's
Rambo's
like 2 steps away from like being like, well, I'll bang you if you like take me there.
I know, right? I kept getting vibes like they're gonna be together or some crap.
Yeah.
But
this is God's will.
He's like, you're no Cobal, which she's not. But,
no, she's not, because Cobal wouldn't have got captured like that.
Exactly. No. But no, she goes back to him, visits him at night. He's nicer at night, and he says yes, and doesn't take any money. And I'm just thinking, like, First Blood Part 2, Rambo would have never done this. But then, so he decides to take him, and they go upstream. and they largely nothing's going on. The girl starts talking to him, like kind of the stupid. You see it in all kinds of movies where, there's a character who's talking to the protagonist who's kind of standoffish and trying to break that shell. Like I'll get in there somehow, and
maybe he just doesn't want to talk to you.
Exactly. It's like, this is really stupid, and I really don't want to be here, but I'm helping you out to prove you wrong, is what I'm thinking. And then the husband, he's getting all pissy that she's talking to him, and there's some weird tension there. The other guys really aren't saying much, and then night falls. They drive. They well, I guess
they are driving. They're not sailing, I guess.
No, you do. You do drive a boat, whatever, man. They go past in their boat past this like pirate party, and I guess they're in Burma now at this point, or at least very close.
Yeah.
And these Burmese pirates, they think they've gone right past them, right? Because it's nighttime. Rambo's got his motor off, but nope, can't sneak past those guys. They swing up, and this is where I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that was such a violent scene," but it is nothing compared to what.
It is like the lightest appetizer tasting session. But this is the parts of the one was too. It's like, because these pirates show up and they random belt, and Rambo's all like, "Yo, okay, you guys put your head down, be quiet, don't you look at them in the eyes. They're like a dog,
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. If one of them jumps on you, tries to attack you, put your finger in his butthole. They'll release you.
Exactly.
And so they're just kind of doing that stuff. And then the guy shows up and he's like, he's like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" They're like, "Don't you know this is our place? You're not supposed to do this. You got to sign a waiver before you come across here. This is our territory, damn it." And Rambo's just like, "Yeah, we're taking medicine up there. Don't worry about it," and stuff. And then one of the guys looks and goes, "Is that a white girl? That white woman down there?" And they're like, "Shit, put the spotlight on her. You can't have her." He's like, "No, give us that. You give us the woman. We don't care about anything else." I mean, we'll fuck all those other Christian guys, but that's a different thing. And then of course this it gets all like dangerous and hostile and everything like that. And the second that they try to board or whatnot, Rambo pulls out that pistol and blasts every single one of them, and then walks over to the final guy that's still alive and shoots him in the head a couple of times. And the pastor's like, "No! Yeah. Should have done that!" And just... Dude, that pastor, like when he flips out on Rambo for literally saving their lives, and then he's like, "Did you die? That's a life. You should never take a life." I'd be like, "Dude, shut the fuck up." Dude, like, if they're gonna rape that girl 50 times over, they're gonna rape you at least 20 times over. Because they are, once again, they are bored on a Tuesday. And as well as those ones, the guy's gonna look and be like, "Don't you take this away from me." And the only way to take it away from him was to shoot him.
Killing him. Yeah. No, and it's true, man. Like, you have so many people out there who are gonna tell you that crap, and it's the same kind of thing with like the whole, "Oh, we shouldn't execute this serial rapist because it's cruel and unusual." It's like, what about all the raping he's doing?
That was pretty cruel and unusual.
I don't think they're really providing anything beneficial to society here. Come on.
No, that's what I kind of hate to sort of say. And if they're in jail, they're not paying taxes anymore. So let's be honest, what's their purpose?
Exactly.
They're literally not even a cog in the machine anymore.
But he smokes all them and then gets them to their destination. That's when the husband rips Rambo's ass, to which Rambo's like,
I just like Rambo grabs him and just fucking choke slams him up against the side.
Oh, yeah,
He lets him know, like, "Don't you fuck this up," Which really, I love how that, once again, I love how that pastor, he's talking all sorts of mad shit after he just witnessed Rambo take out 6 dudes.
Oh,
like, single-handedly.
I'd be raising my voice to.
Yeah.
Listen here,
listen here, and I can't remember if the wife had told him yet if like he didn't take the money. I can't remember if that scene came before or after.
Yeah, that already happened.
Okay, that already happened. So it's like also at the same time, like, dude, like he didn't even take the money, so there is literally nothing you can say to this guy. You were
man, he's like the child's mom that you see in the grocery store, like that if you like, I don't know, the kid drops his toy and you give it back to him and the mom's like, "Oh, don't talk to him, Billy." Like, that's what the pastor's like.
Stranger danger, stranger danger.
Exactly. because right when she starts talking to him, he's like, why don't you just let him drive the boat? Like, and she's like, oh, I don't know what your problem is, and but yeah, that's when she tells him, like, yeah, he's doing it for free. But anyway, yeah. So after the massacre, after Rambo does his,
after Rambo massacres the pirates,
yes, that little appetizer of death, he drops him off at their location at the Karen's place, and things seem okay, for a minute. The Christians are feeding people and giving them medicine and treatment, and
of course they got 1,000 Bibles that they could pass out of all the things they brought.
God, that shit bugs the shit out of me.
It's like, I hate that's the thing too. It's
like if you really care about these people, leave the Bibles at home.
Yeah, leave the stupid fucking Bible. It's like, no. Like, don't you come to somebody else's house and start, like, trying to convert them. I think that's what always kind of bothers me is, like, it's almost like a double-handed thing. Like, they're trying to be like, well, we're going to bring some medicine, really, but you got to convert over or else you're going to hell, And that's the stuff that pisses me off when I see that. It's just, like, one of those ones where it's like...
You walk in there, you're like, how bad's that leg hurt?
Yeah. I got a
bandage.
But you got to take this book. And let's be honest, this book's probably, it's probably in English, you know what I mean? So now they're going to forcefully have to learn English.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so, it's going fine for a minute, minus the theological issue. They're, hanging out, having a good time, helping people, getting them fed, fixing them up. And, oh gosh, I don't even think 5 minutes goes by before that army shows up and just starts in unleashing hell upon everyone and everything. Killing kids, throwing them into fires, like chopping their arms off, shooting them, stabbing them, and
blowing up the huts.
Like, everything, lighting them all on fire. And then, like, you see a lot of them running away. You're thinking they're going to escape, right? Nope. There's a truck comes by with a 50 cal on it, and they just start blowing them all away. A miracle that it's hard to believe that they kept the girl, what's her name, Sarah, the white
Sarah
woman? Yeah, it's a miracle that she's alive, because I mean they're just going crazy with all their rifles.
Mortars will
mortars yeah, oh my god. And then but she makes it, so of course they abduct her and a bunch of other women. They basically abduct all the women
and the young boys,
the women and the young boys, that's right, to rape and prostitute. And then they bring back a bunch of dudes, but not a whole lot of them. And then that's about what you see there. And then, cuts back to Rambo.
I was going to say, before we go any farther, there was one scene we actually kind of forgot in the beginning that actually sort of sets the tone for this movie. And especially, I want to say in the original version, it actually comes faster than it does in that. But there's that scene where, like, you first see those Burmese, like, militia, and they have those guys, like,
oh yeah,
they're gonna run across the rice paddies and whatnot. They just got they got like 15 people, and then there's a dude out there throwing little landmines and claymores out and so on. And then they have to do this like death run where they're just running through the rice paddies, and lo and behold, hopefully they don't blow up. And if they get to the other side, well, guess what, you got to run it again, and we're gonna kill you no matter what. So they're just pretty much playing games with them. Yeah,
it's screwed. But yeah, so it cuts back to Rambo, and once again, another American comes to him with a problem for Rambo to solve.
Yeah.
And what happens? It's kind of like, sadly, it's almost like the same thing of Rambo 3. Like he's got to go save people. I was going to say Rambo 2, but not necessarily. His initial mission was not saving anyone; it was just reconnaissance.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this guy comes up. Hey, we need to know. We need you to drive our boys up. Once again, they can't find anyone else.
Now you got the head pastor of this Colorado thing here,
and he wants Rambo to take him up there. Well, before this happens, actually, I don't remember this in the first film, and it could just be because I just don't remember it. I don't know if it was necessarily part of the extended version, but it's either after or during the whole massacre on the Karens and the white people. John Rambo he's disposing of those bodies that he killed,
Yeah, he destroys the whole pirate boats and all that stuff.
Interestingly enough, I thought he threw them in the river. But anyway, no, he's disposing of the pirate crap, and it's having flashback scenes of First Blood Part 2, and Rambo, Rambo 3, and which was kind of interesting. It's kind of a nice throwback. He also, I was like, "What are you doing, man? Like, don't do this!" But he chucks his knife into the boat, and he lights it all on fire. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "The white woman got to you."
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be some weird symbolic thing, like, at this point I'm 100%. He keeps saying, like, I keep thinking I'm done. I keep thinking I've gotten as far away in the world as possible, and lo and behold, they always seem to find me.
Yeah, it's cursed.
Yeah, Troutman put a tracker in it. I know it.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. Unfortunately, Troutman is not in this film.
Yeah, he passed away in 2003.
He passed away. So, but
one thing that's kind of interesting though is there's a scene, there's a second flashback scene, which once again I think might be part of this extended version and not part of the original one, where Rambo has like a nightmare once again, seeing some flashbacks, and it actually shows that alternative ending to First Blood, which is the book ending where Troutman shoots him or whatnot, and Rambo wakes up right then, which I thought was kind of cool. It goes by really fast. Like, so it's almost like if you blink, you might kind of miss it. But I was like, oh, wait a second. That's the, mainly just because we just watched it. Like, I watched the deleted scenes or like the alternative ending. Is that like, oh, there's that ending right there. So it's kind of cool that they pulled that and finally had a place to use it in the movie.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so he Rambo thinks he's done, but he's not, because like that head pastor comes back and we need your boat again. We got. I forget what the pastor said, but Rambo's like, "You have mercenaries," and like he's like pissed about it, kind of, because he probably has no respect for him. And of course, in this movie, they do portray the mercenaries as the typical like soulless, heathen, like careless monsters that have guns.
Especially the British SAS guys, like, oh, I'm tough guy. Look at me. Look at my cock.
Like, the most exact.
Oh, this stupid boat, man.
He's so exaggerated. It's just pretty hilarious. Because you got to think, these private military companies, they're not just like, trying to think here of who to from King of the Hill. You remember, I forgot his last name, but his name's Jimmy. He runs the racetrack.
Yeah.
A lot of times in film, they act like the people running these companies are like people like that, like these sleazeballs that just like, I'll hire anyone with a gun. But you typically, they typically hire. Now, the people can be total evil pieces of crap, but they still have to fit a certain requirement to do this job. Like they're usually not super careless or reckless and stuff, but hey, it's part of what makes the movie fun. And but yeah, this guy is so silly, like with how mad this guy is, how brazen, and he's a bully, he's a hard ass, and so full of crap. And
he's just talking so tough, but like, he
goes up to Rambo, like, "Hey, Bob, man, get us up there right now," and
he's pissed it's not going fast enough. Like, nothing is. This guy just never has a good day.
Yeah, and Rambo, he didn't say anything. He just looks at him and he's like, "Yeah, why don't you drop the 1,000-yard stare? I've seen it before. I'm not impressed." And it's like, the guy's an asshole, and then he's mad at Rambo for being upset that the guy's an asshole. Like. But they, you got this ragtag group of mercenaries. Which
I want to ask you this real quick. Okay, so this church obviously has enough money to pay for mercenaries to go get them back. How much? I was trying to think about this. How much does he think it costs to have? How many mercenaries were there? Like 6 or 8 guys?
There was like 5 or 6.
Yeah. Well, let's just say there's 6. How much do you think 6 mercenaries cost to rent out for the weekend?
Probably a couple $100,000.
That's what I was saying too. I was like, it's got to be close to maybe $500,000 at least. Probably up, for all those guys.
They're so typically PMC operators are paid way more than U.S. military. That's just a given, because U.S. military, it doesn't matter what you do, you're getting paid for your grade. It literally, man, like a dude sitting in the finance office, if he's an E6 and you are a special operator E6, you're getting paid the same. It's kind of stupid, but it's the way it is.
So if that guy peeling potatoes is an E6, he's getting paid the same.
Yeah.
How he got that far in the rank, I'm kind of questioning, but
usually at that point in that kind of career field, they're in an office or something. But
yeah,
still, a lot of them will go back out and work, you know. But anyway, the mercenaries typically, the PMC operators are usually getting paid a lot better. I don't know how they all operate. I don't know really the specifics, man. I mean, I did construction in the Air Force, so it's not like I'm the apex of knowledge on the subject. But at the same time, they do get paid decently well for what they do. And sometimes they get very underpaid. But it's like, that's what they know, so that's what they do. But yeah, no, that could not have been cheap.
No, that's what I just thought. I'm like, boy, this church has some money to be throwing at, hiring the mercenaries.
Yeah, but yeah, so they these guys. Rambo takes them to the spot, drops them off, and they're all the British guy's super pissed off because there's only one guy and his like little teenage buddy who is an excellent tracker. That's all the help they got, and they go to the site where everybody got slaughtered.
Well, and he's pissed because Rambo gets off the boat too.
Oh yeah,
hey, stay on the boat. What's the boatman doing off the boat? No, you come with us.
He's kind of like Russell Crowe from South Park.
Yeah.
Oi, I'm Russell Crowe. Talk up.
Yeah, that's pretty much this guy is. Everything pisses this guy off, you know.
As a group of Chinamen, I love a good fight. But yeah, that guy's over there calling Rambo a testicle, and just wanting to beat him up.
Yeah.
But no, they go over to the spot where everybody's massacred, and they're debating on whether or not they should even be there. I'm just going home and blah blah blah. That like everybody, like most of them had kind of a bad attitude, and
except for the sniper boy. That's the only one. He's the only one that seemed cool.
He's the other British guy, the SBS.
Yeah.
It's like the Marine Corps and Navy version of the SAS. Yeah, so they're at the site, and then some more of those nasty, mean troops came by, and they dumped off some of those dudes that they abducted. It was just like what you were talking about in the beginning of the film. They threw some landmines in the rice paddy and had them run across. Nobody blew up. They all made it to the other side, but then because they
gotta run back.
Exactly. And before they could do that, and before anyone got killed, one of the meanie officers was about to shoot him, but Rambo jumps out with his famous bow and arrows and kills all them dudes. And one of them falls on one of those landmines and just totally explodes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it was great. And then of course the SAS guy's all pissed off, starts telling Rambo he's gonna kill him, and because he's the best ever. Oh yeah, he told Rambo on the boat too. I love it, where he's like, yeah, they get the devil, that's me, to do their dirty work, and but yeah, he gets in Rambo's face. He's like, they're gonna know, they're gonna kill us, like they're gonna find out their boys aren't coming back, and they're gonna kill us. And tells Rambo he's gonna kill him, and he's like, no, you're not, and you're not going anywhere. We're gonna go rescue the other people. And he tells him, F you, whatever. But then Rambo puts an arrow in his face, and he gives a nice little speech about this is their job and this is what they do. So they go and
they all listen from that point. That was literally like just the hierarchy came to play right there.
Well, and I love how the dude asked him, he's like, how'd you learn how to do that? And he never says anything like, I was in the special forces, I was a Green Beret, I've been in Iraq, I've been or Afghanistan.
You ever heard about that exploding town in Oregon?
Yeah. He's like, you know how Oregon no longer exists? That was me. But yeah, so he never says anything about his history. And the only thing he talks about relative to himself is to the girl, the white girl on the boat before she gets kidnapped and they all get slaughtered. is he says that I might have a father in Arizona. I might have a father in Arizona. Which come back to that, because there's something I thought about at the end of the film that I was like, hold on a fucking minute. But we'll get back to that.
Yeah, I have another tidbit that I kind of found about that ties in with the book version of Rambo Part 2. Because apparently David Morrell wrote about Rambo's father in Rambo Part 2. Rambo ends up shooting his dad with a bow and arrow because he was an asshole.
Okay.
So that's what they said. They're like, well, here's the thing. So if Rambo goes to visit his dad at the end of Rambo 4, it's going to be a very awkward.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, well, I didn't know that. So
I didn't know that one either. I'm really that one of these days. I gotta sit down and read Rambo 2 and 3 because I'm very interested to see all the extra details he probably puts in there since that's his character.
Yeah. It also clears up a little bit of what I was going to be saying, but anyway, I'll still get back to it. But no, so they go on their mission. They take the truck that belonged to the asshole Burmese people and go back to their camp. Witness all kinds of atrocities, like the prostitutes are getting manhandled and forced to dance.
Yeah, they do a little dance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At first, it's like one of those ones. That's like one of those ones. Like, is that what turns those guys on? Like, we're just gonna sit there and watch them do a real goofy dance for like an hour. Just like here's 100 of us guys sitting in a sweat den. Just stare like, oh yeah, look at that. Oh, there she goes. She's flipping out. Flips that there. Oh, there.
She's gonna do the left hand again. I kept thinking, I was literally thinking about that, and I'm like, man, it must be because they don't know any different. Like, that must be the move right there, that they're just like, that is the bee's fucking knees. I've never seen a woman do that, and I think it's the best. So let's go kidnap some more.
Well, the commander's like, by all means, boys, have that. I got myself a 10-year-old boy for myself.
Oh yeah, dude, that was rough. Just the way they filmed it. It's like, I think it would have been easier to like watch if they would have just showed him like brutalizing this boy. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes in film, when things are left up to your imagination, it makes it that much worse. Like this dude, like it's a slow shot. He has him come into his hut. It's like a real slow scene.
Slow door closing.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, like he just sends him on his way. And it's like this poor fucking defeated kid.
Yeah,
just had his butt violated by this nasty ass Burmese. Not that Burmese has anything to do with it. It's just he's a nasty human being, and it's like, oh god, it's just terrible because it's not like you have a choice of like, oh, I wonder what happened there. It's too bad I can't imagine it. Yeah,
they didn't show it, so it didn't happen.
Now I don't know, and I never will. But yeah, and so Rambo and company take out a few guys here and there. They rescue some people, but Rambo doesn't want to leave without Sarah, of course. And
this scene kind of reminds me a lot of like First Blood Part 2 because it's like when they're sneaking around and everything like that, and except for Rambo's got like a team this time, so you got the sniper guy. He's set up, and he's watching him. Weapons. And it's a cool like sneaking around, seeing all these guys here, trying to plan it out. They save a couple of guys out of cages and whatnot like that. They get a few others. They don't save any of those Karen girls though whatsoever, or maybe they get a couple of, but those girls are just left to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, poor ladies.
They have to do a stupid dance for the last 2 hours, and then they get molested, and everybody else is saved but them.
Yeah, and I almost feel like the Christians made everything worse.
They really did. Probably it was like that. Probably wasn't gonna happen. Maybe that's why they showed up. They're like, oh, there's a bunch of Christians up there. They destroyed the fucking pirates on the outside of town. Get the fuck out of here! Like, we gotta go over there to show them what's up.
Hey, Christian lady.
Hey, you fucking Christians.
We don't act kindly to your top. But yeah, so they get a bunch of people, start bringing them all back and whatnot, and but yeah,
of course the British guy's like, let's get out of here. Like, Rambo's not back yet.
Yeah, exactly. And they have a little, argument like, oh, we should leave. No, we got to wait, blah, blah, blah. And then the one guy that stays behind is the SBS guy, the other British guy, the nice guy.
The sniper boy.
Who's been blowing people away with his 50 cal sniper rifle.
Probably loud as fuck.
Oh yeah. And the headshot scenes were another one that just would make me laugh, because at first I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize he had a giant 50 cal
just overkill rifle.
And I'm like, dude, how are these heads just like disappearing off of bodies? And it is the classic kind of exaggerated gun violence you see in a lot of movies, where I guarantee you can be shot by a 50 cal rifle. It will destroy you, but it's not going to launch you 20 feet. Yeah. And of course they do this, and I eat it up because it's, again,
I like it because it's more dramatic in a sense.
Yes. And it makes for good scenes, Yeah. And, so Rambo, like, he's about to jump on the girl because this guy's going to shoot this Burmese soldier. And then the SBS guy just blows that guy away. And, he's like, yeah, here I am, like, let's go. So SBS boy, schoolboy,
yeah.
Schoolboy and Rambo and Sarah, they're making their way out of there and to meet up with the other group, and then they find him. They make like a distraction. Rambo has Schoolboy put off a couple shots, so the Burmese hear it, go after them. They kind of split off. And
Rambo takes a piece of Sarah's like jacket or shirt or whatever, because they got these tracker dogs out there following him.
Yeah,
and he wraps that around, and it takes a claymore too. Like, we forget about this. He asked for a claymore.
Yeah, that's right. He takes a claymore, and it might have just been one. I don't know, but apparently there's some giant bomb that's just in the jungle. Some giant British bomb that's like, dropped from a plane type of bomb.
Yeah.
And, it's like just short of a freaking atomic bomb. Thing's massive. Well, he puts
a tall boy is what it's called.
Oh, okay. And puts the claymore and her shirt around the wires that the guys that are tracking the shirt with the dog, I guess they don't notice the wires or the claymore, but they trip it, and all of a sudden,
Rambo's run away, and you just get this giant earthquake,
kind of like John
explosion,
Matrix, running away from the Predator's bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be funny if Stallone was like I don't know, like secretly was always envious of that scene, from Predator. So like he's like, one day I'm gonna
I'm gonna make a huge bomb where it blows up. Except for this one's gonna take out a bunch of Burmese guys and their dogs.
When I first watched The Predator, I didn't realize there was more to the movie after the bomb scene and John Matrix just flying. I don't remember why. I guess I went to the restroom, came back, and
credits.
I watched the credits. Yeah, and but when I watched it later on, I'm like, oh, he survived. I had no idea for years.
Oh, well, it makes sense. He's not in Predator 2.
I know, right? I was kind of bummed, but Danny Glover did a good job.
Yeah, I like Danny Glover a lot, so it's, and it's got the chick from Running Man in there as well, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it's also got Gary Busey, too. There's a lot of people, actually. Yes. That second one.
Was that before or after Gary Busey had his accident?
I want to say he had his accident, because that movie's like the... Because I know Point Break was after the accident. So I want to say, because Predator's was the year before Point Break, so... Unless
Predator
it was
2.
one... Yeah, or Predator 2, I mean, because that one's, I think, 90, so... So he might have either just had it or had it after Predator 2.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. I thought he was so goofy in that movie. But anyway... Yeah, no. So the war is completely on at this point. The Burmese have captured all the people that were rescued, including the mercenaries. They're beating the crap out of them. The British guy still won't shut up.
He gets his leg blown off.
Yeah, my fucking leg, my fucking leg.
He gets his leg blown off. You think he would die? No, he survives.
Yeah, he does, just so he could keep talking.
And he talking smack to people so that they can poke him in the leg.
Yeah, no, that's so funny, man. I mean, like come on, ah! And but yeah, so Sarah and Schoolboy are watching through his sniper lens, and she's like, "What do we do?" He's like, "Oh, there's nothing we can do." And I'm thinking, like, how is there nothing you can do? Like, you have a vantage point here. Start smoking them people. You can shoot like 3 dudes at once if you line them up. But you know, what do I know? And so Rambo, of course,
I just assumed it was one of those ones like he didn't want to attract attention to their location at the moment.
Maybe not, and
because there was more Burmese soldiers than them, especially if everybody, because at this point they're not too sure. Oh, the fact that there was a ginormous explosion off in the distance, they don't know where Rambo's at.
Yes. And
which everybody else probably like, what the hell was that?
I know, like I like how nobody talks about it either. You know, like
no, because one of those ones only Rambo knows what just happened there. Nobody else has any idea what that giant nuclear bomb, almost like mini explosion was.
And how did Rambo even know that was there? It's not like Rambo's been walking around this place in his spare time.
They ran across that bomb.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, earlier in the movie, they run across it, and like I think Schoolboy or something asked something about it, and I can't remember if Rambo even says it or whatnot, but they do mention that like, oh, it's a British bomb. You know, these are one of those undetonated ones that were dropped off here. It's either that or I can't. Somebody runs across it at least, but
something like that. But yeah, so Rambo he more or less makes it back up towards the group. Kind of hilarious. That general or whatever the hell he is, the Burmese guy, it seems like he's about to have everyone executed. And because he's got them all lined up. The rest of the Karen people, the Christian people, one who's dead at this point, and the mercenaries. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to kill them all. And then like they show the scene with a guy, one of the Burmese soldiers on a turret, and Rambo's head just slowly pops up. Like, I don't know. I just laughed so hard at that. And of course, he guts him and gets him off the gun and uses the gun to blow. And like, here's the barrel of the gun. Here's a Burmese guy's head. And and this is a 50 cal machine gun. Like makes jam of that vehicle. And from there just starts blowing away everyone else. Like, such a freaking like apocalyptic event.
Yeah,
and of course, at that point, Schoolboy's like, "Oh, I can help now," and he starts blowing away people too. The other people start fighting back. The Christian husband finally grows a pair of balls and starts beating this Burmese guy
with a rock.
Yeah, and he
should have beat him with a Bible just to top it off.
Yeah,
you're like, this is my weapon.
English, and but yeah, so they pretty much win their fight with casualties. The other Christian people die, and then
they have that boat that shows up at one point too.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the boat comes up with another kind of 50 cal on there, and a flamethrower to top it off. Just for more, because this is like literally like 20 or 25 minutes of just pure carnage action right here. Like literally probably one of the best action scenes in almost any movie is this part right here. Just the brutality, the chaos, everything, and then they just keep upping the antes and so on like that.
Oh yeah,
and you're just watching dudes getting taken out left and right, and just. And there's already been a lot of violence, before this part, but this part here is where it really gets intense. I mean, we had when Stallone goes to rescue Sarah, he has that cool part where he sneaks in there and rips that dude's throat out.
Dude, I forgot about that.
That part's so badass.
Insane. Just maybe he either had some insane grip strength with his fingers or really long nails. Or both. Yeah, just like grabs a guy like here and just
he has like, Coffin Joe nails.
It's like he's turning like half a phone book as pages at once, just oh man. And then I guess that boy who that one dude was messing around with, the boy who was getting raped by the guy, I think the boy killed him, or Rambo did, one of the two. I think Rambo probably did.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think of how the main villain dies in this one.
Well, so the main villain, strange noise in my house. The main villain Rambo kills right after they pretty much win their fight at the end. But I don't think that guy's the one that raped a boy.
No,
he's not. Another guy. I think it was another guy that did it. But either way, whatever. the rapist gets killed. Yeah. And but yeah, right after the battle's won, that general guy, the main antagonist, kind of like starts booking it up the hill. Well, Rambo's like, no way. And he of course, in John Rambo fashion, he's hiding, and then he guts the guy like as he's running up the hill. And in one of the most brutal, like, stabbing scenes I've ever seen in a movie, and it's not necessarily just because of the stabbing or the gut ripping, but he rips this dude's guts and then kicks him, and he rolls down the hill, and his body's not completely severed. It's like 90% of the
it's still flapping,
but his body's like rolling. His body's rolling down the hill like one half after the other, like imagine like if you cut a grape, like almost all the way, anyway.
And you let just a little bit of skin flap kind of hold it together.
I was like, that is brutal as fuck.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, and then they win, and no apologies from the Christian husband, of course. No, I'm sorry, I caused this. I had you bring me out here, and then I needed you to come rescue me. God, and then
literally because of these Christians, everybody, think about how many lives were lost, because even if you take both sides, so you got the Burmese army, militia, the pirates, all this stuff, all these people died because these Christian guys wanted to make themselves sleep good at night.
I think they probably would have slaughtered those Karens anyway.
I think so too, but
I really don't think those Christian people helped.
No.
But yeah, so and especially, I'm sure, like you said, like real life scenario, there was probably some retaliation for them killing the other guys. In the beginning of the movie, I mean.
Yeah, when they kill the pirates.
Yeah. Bound to, it's bound to be the case as well. But yeah, and I like how Rambo gives that weird ass wave to Sarah at the end.
Which I think that was an extended cut scene too. I don't know if that was necessarily in the original one.
I just thought that was silly as shit. But then that's about where things get left off there, and then Rambo, funny enough, like you said, the British guy with the loud mouth, he doesn't die.
No, he survived. Like half the other guys are all dead. All the other mercenary guys, all the nicer mercenaries don't make it.
There's 2 or 3, I think, that made it in total. Schoolboy, I think, makes it, right?
Yeah, he makes it. Yeah.
But yeah, and that was that, and then gosh, so yeah, it's the day is saved, and then it goes to Rambo back in Arizona. And he shows him right next to a mailbox that says R. Rambo. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, Ron, Randy.
Yeah.
Who knows? And
so he's at Papa Rambo's house.
And all I'm thinking here, of course, this is before that you had told me about.
David Morrell's version where he shoots his father with a bow and arrow.
Before I knew that, all I'm thinking is, why didn't Rambo just go to his dad's house in First Blood instead of going to stupid Oregon? I mean, he was looking for his buddy in Oregon, but
yeah.
So there's that. But I'm just thinking, why didn't you go home, man? You could have averted yourself. You could have had food at home.
Yeah. Well, apparently, once again, I haven't read the second book yet, but according to that, is that Rambo does have a bad relation with his father.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I guess just including getting shot with a bow and arrow, I think even if he just, let's just say movie-wise, maybe that's the thing is he just never felt like he was welcome back home. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It could have been one of those dads that was very anti him going to Vietnam.
God, yeah. I'll tell you what, though, I mean, post Rambo or post First Blood Part 2, I'd have just gone back home, and if his dad would have had a problem with that, I'd just kick his dad out.
Yeah, we shot him again with a bow and arrow.
Be like, you really want to go? You want some of this guy? But
I shot you once with a bow and arrow. Now I have training.
Now I have bomb arrows.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, and then that's where it sets it up, I guess, for Last Blood. I don't know anything about that movie, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, no, that'll be a fun one to go watch again, because I haven't seen it since the cinemas, and it's a little bit different of a Rambo movie, but it still has tons of Rambo elements and stuff in that one there, And then be cool to see the extended cut on that. Oh, now I wonder though. It's like with these like Stallone extended cut movies. Like, now has he removed stuff out of that extended cut that I've heard nothing but good things about the Rambo 5 extended cut. That's it's not like kind of like where Rambo 4 and Rocky 4 kind of have those like back and forth things where it's like, well, some stuff's better, but then there's some things that it's changed that I don't care for. Yeah, at least that one kind of does. All in all, though, I think both their versions of Rambo 4 are cool. It kind of, I thought at first the extended cut was going to be one of those ones that would be like, why would you even watch the other one? Granted, now it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like you do kind of want to go back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
But no, at the end of the day, God, just watching Rambo 4 again, it's like, that movie's just so good. It's one of those ones like, if somebody tells me that that's their favorite Rambo movie, I would never even argue that one bit. It's like, no, it's total sense.
I think it was a awesome and necessary comeback. Even though I don't hate Rambo 3 by any means, I could almost see the series not even including Rambo 3. Like if they just went straight from First Blood Part 2 to Rambo, I would say cool. Because you're not really missing anything there. It goes like from 2 to 4, jungle to jungle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The funny enough, like the whole Afghanistan incident's kind of like there's almost like a vibe of like, yeah, we don't talk about that. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily important to even Rambo's story.
Yeah, it's more just like just another thing. I mean, what I do like about Rambo 3 is the fact that it is in Afghanistan, so it does give it kind of a different flavor in a way. Like, it's not just jungle warfare anymore. It's like, here he is in some, like, desert. He's going against Soviets once again, just like Rambo 2. But, I feel like I do like the change in environment. Like, I think that's kind of neat. Like, I wouldn't even mind seeing, like, if there was more Rambo movies in between, that if he did go to, like, here's Rambo in, like, a snow kind of, like, situation.
Here's Rambo on the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's, like I said, nothing against the third movie. It just, I think it was a nice kind of return to his roots kind of thing. And really just well done. I think the pacing was really good. Interestingly enough, I find this to be a kind of similar to Blade 2, in which there's really not a whole lot that happens, but I think they do a really good job of making it seem like there is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Well, plus it seems like that too. The second you mention that, it's like, well, yeah, because then it's like Rambo's not doing it by himself. He has this team that doesn't seem to like him.
Yeah, no kidding. Ever think about that? But yeah,
this team that doesn't seem to like him, though he's done nothing, they'll like make him like hate him.
Well, to be fair, Blade kills vampires, and his team was all vampires.
Oh, that's true. They were all vampires. That makes more sense than Blade.
But yeah, no. I just I was thinking about it. I'm like, there's really only, when you think about it, there's just 2 acts. Like in this movie, it's him bringing the people there, and then him rescuing the people. Like and it's very similar to, I would say, like I said, to Blade 2. There's really only a couple things that, well, 2.5 kind of the intro to the movie, and then the 2-part.
Yeah, anyway. I know what you mean though. Yeah, it is kind of like a 2-act thing, and I do kind of agree that this one does kind of give, in a sense, this movie almost gives the most Rambo feel out of any one.
For sure.
Because even like I think David Morales said that, like, yeah, he's like, that feels more like my character in the book than anything else.
Yeah. I also, again, I know I keep Rambo 3, but compared to First Blood and First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3 was like, who was working that movie? Michael Bay. I mean, the explosions, holy crap. And some of them just seem like, hey, what are we doing for this next scene? Put an explosion over there. Like, well, there's nobody there. That's fine. It seemed like some of those explosions were just so like over the top and a little random sometimes. I feel that all of that in Rambo 4, I didn't think there was anything random about it. I think it was all like very decided. You know, like it was just perfect. You know, for lack of better terms. You know, I thought it just all went together so damn well. It was tied together so well.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. Yeah, like each thing makes more sense, you know, where like Rambo 3 kind of falls in that line where like, dude, the more explosions you have, the bigger the production your movie's going to look like it's got.
Yeah. But no, man, I like this movie, and I'm going to be watching it like next week again, because my wife comes home and we're going to, I mean, I watch all these with her every time we do one, so I can't.
Well, now you can watch the theatrical cut again and see the differences.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
She doesn't need to know.
Yeah, but unless I have to pay for it, then it's just going to be the one that I bought. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, no. Rambo, such a good flick, you know. I'm just glad this movie exists. It's like one of those ones. It almost like every time I kind of watch it, it kind of blows your mind that like I'm so glad this was like a full-on theatrical movie. Like anywhere else, this would have been like a straight to VHS. Like you had to like find it. It would have been like a snuff film almost in a weird way, like hidden.
I've been playing the reboot God of War series, and Rambo in this movie is like Kratos from God of War. I can't give him any better definition, man. The dude just is a powerhouse, and anybody who watches it, you're gonna feel it.
You know, speaking of which, isn't it kind of a bummer we never got like a really good like modern day Rambo kind of game? I mean, modern day is in like. You know, because a lot of things started because, you know, like in those like Tomb Raider survival kind of ones, like the last 3 ones, she has like a lot of Rambo-ness in that kind of game, you know, there. Of course, Solid Snake's got a lot of Rambo-ness there. But I was
going to say, it's I think I said it before when we were talking about First Blood Part 2, the so many similarities to MGS3. And I would love for there to be a Rambo game that's like, shoot, man, it could be when he's a Green Beret.
Yeah. Well, you know what is that, or I even kind of thought is you could have an like original story that takes place between Rambo 3 and Rambo 4 in a sense, because then you could just set it wherever the heck you wanted. It doesn't have to tie to the movie. It'll tie into the movies, but that's kind of like what they did with that. There was that Indiana Jones game that came out about a year ago. So that one takes place between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade. So it's all original story.
I think it'd be really cool. Yeah, you could totally do something in between 3 and 4, and you could have flashbacks. You could have scenes from each movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be super cool. Yeah, I'm really surprised nobody's ever done that. Maybe there's been talks and it just never came to fruition. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, there was a Rambo arcade game like, 10, 15 years ago or so that went through all 3 of the original movie. I think it came out actually probably around the same time this movie, Rambo 4, came out.
I had no idea.
There's that, and that was kind of about it, and then of course there's the Rambo 3 old like NES game and Sega Genesis one and so on. But yeah, beyond that though, it's like, yeah, there never was, but like it's that thing that like if you literally gave it a similar engine to like I would say something in between Metal Gear Solid and Tomb Raider, like I think you would have a perfect like Rambo game system set up right there.
Gears of War-ish.
Yeah, Gears of War as well too. Even probably a little bit less. I guess is like shooter, more survival. I guess stealth survival. I think and then you would you could still have some gunplay and so on. A little bit more gunplay than
initially. I thought first-person shooter, but I wouldn't want to not see my character.
yeah. That I feel Rambo would be kind of wrong to be first person. I feel like it needs to be third person, and I think it definitely needs to have a somewhat stealth element for sure. Yeah. You got to be able to sneak around and take dudes out and whatnot, and rip their throats out and everything, and stab them with the knife.
No, for sure.
But yeah, more good times to be had with Rambo. We'll continue this up with Rambo 5 next and finish off the good old Rambo series and go from there. But till then, you can always check out all the Old Man Orange podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Dave Candido.
And we'll see you some other time.